were very heartfelt. I feel great pain when I visit these forests. I feel great pleasure. I am extremely grateful for the experience. I am in an environment, Umber, which is my habitat of comfort. On weekends, I exist in the swamp. You've been with me several times. And the oneness that you experience is spiritual. Nature is such. And all of us who are involved with the natural world have experienced it on many levels. मैं दिल से इतना शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि मुझे ये मौका मिला है कि ये लम्हे जो हैं मेरी ज़िंदगी में मुस्तकिल आते रहते हैं, और जिस चीज़ का एहसास रहता है वो ये रहता है कि एक वक्त आता है जहाँ हमें अलविदा करना पड़ता है इस दुनिया को. And before it is my time to leave, it's extremely important to have expressed the wonder and the joy that exists. And it does exist, in spite of all. But so the human presence, its qualities and its horrific potential has a duality. And you experience this, Umber, in these forests.
So, Tariq, if I can just say, like at the beginning of this year, I think you did a post which had like 2 photographs. One from, I think, 2 years ago of a lush, green, thriving mangrove forest, and one, a more recent one, which was all cut down and a bare, almost desert-like area. And what you'd written with it was almost like it had a sense of you feeling completely bereaved. जैसे कोई फौतगी हो गई हो या कोई इस तरह से सानिया हो गया हो, तो आपको इस तरह से वो महसूस हो रहा था. तो ये जो एक चीज़ है, ये क्यों इतना सानिया है, क्यों, ये थोड़ा समझाएं हमें.
देखें, सानिया भी है और बहुत आला चीज़ भी है, एक साथ एग्जिस्ट करती है. रंग नहीं होते कायनात में, ज़िंदगी में, दुनिया में. रंग समझे जाते हैं, परसीव होते हैं सिर्फ. देयर इज़ लाइट एंड देयर इज़ नो लाइट. एंड ये डुअलिटी जो है, दोनों एक साथ रहती है. सानिया है, मगर उसके साथ साथ बहुत बहुत आला चीज़ें भी हो रही हैं. पाकिस्तान में सानिया से पहले अच्छी बातों की बात भी करें, अब हैं. पाकिस्तान में जो काम हो रहा है मैंग्रोव्स पे, जंगलात पे, वो बहुत आला है. इट इज़ सेमिनल द वर्क दैट इज़ बीइंग डन. द replantation of the delta, 6,000 square kilometers of arid delta. It is the largest arid delta of the world. It is the 7th largest mangrove delta of the world, including all the ones in Belize and South America and Venezuela, etc. And they're very, very important to the ecology of the world. I had the privilege of presenting a film at the COP last year, and I'd like to share that because the stories that are told in that are true. They exist and they're facts. And the work is there that needs to be praised. But there are stories that you can tell, and there are stories that you are not allowed to tell. There are stories that you should tell internationally. And there are stories that need to be told to all of us here, because it is our responsibility to ensure that what can be fixed and should be fixed should be fixed. So I took this movie. I was asked by the Climate Ministry to produce this film. So we produced it, and they said, but you know, Tariq, there's a lot of good stories. And I said, absolutely. And said, we need to tell the good stories. So we took the opportunity to tell the good stories and highlight the fact that we needed to get together in Karachi to discuss the negative, the tragedies, the sanya that is happening also along with the good. So I'd like to, Umber, if I may, I'd like to present the COP movie.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That I produced.
Just quickly remind people why it is a tragedy and why it's so important to replant.
Yeah.
Like, खूबियाँ क्या हैं, मतलब फ़वाइद क्या हैं mangroves के?
So the mangroves are this incredible ecosystem. It's an intertidal plant. Intertidal plant means that it exists between low tide and high tide. तो जब चांद और सूरज की वजह से पानी, समंदर का पानी नीचे जाता है, उसकी सतह जब नीचे होती है तो बहुत सारी रेत और समंदर का साहिल नज़र आने लगता है. फिर जब चांद और सूरज की पोजीशन चेंज होती है तो पानी चढ़ता रहता है. तो आप कभी साहिल पे एक दिन के लिए बैठे हैं, आपको बिल्कुल नज़र आएगा. ये एक कांस्टेंट नहीं है. आप समझें कि दो घड़ियां हैं जो एक दूसरे के साथ काम करती हैं, तो वो हर रोज़ एक चांद के हिसाब से चलती है, दूसरी जो है सूरज के हिसाब से चलती है. तो ये एक दुनिया पैदा कर देती है जो दैट इज़ एक्सट्रीमली यूनिक. I'm going to mix Urdu and English if I may, because I know there's some people here who might appreciate both the languages. So ये दुनिया जो exist करती है, इसमें ख़ास मखलूक का जन्म हुआ है. The plants, the animals, they live both underwater and above water. There are fish that can walk, that can climb trees. There are fish that can breathe outside water for 5 days. There are crustaceans that live underwater. There are worms that are 5 feet long. There are plants that breathe through their roots and expel salt from their leaves. And some of this is expressed in this film. But the mangroves are very important because they not only produce oxygen, it's the 4th largest oxygen producer. They are also a nursery to all the fisheries and the phytoplankton and the zooplankton and the krill, and food source. They protect our cities from tsunamis and sea surges, and essentially